Pay attention to Elena and her podcast. Never leak it and show it. Gotta pull your own weight if you reap it, you sow it. Yeah, gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food, come and eat with a poet.
Shout out to the chef in the back one time for the chef. We are here live at Gigi's Music Cafe. We in the building. The subject is protecting my energy, and we are at the table with the lovely Reese Wright. We're going to have a performance from her coming up, but we were right in the heart of some deep conversations.
Yeah.
And you're 100% correct when it comes to, just being able to determine what your situation is personally and what your levels are. So, but here for me is, I'm always saying it's levels to it, because that's the God truth. The levels change when things change, and as you evolve, you'll recognize there's something within you that shifts. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel different. Correct. It makes you feel more in tune with your higher self. That's not just talk. I always tell people all the time, the difference between you and the person standing next to you is your enlightenment. It sets you apart from the people around you.
Yeah.
And so I think this is very important. Energy is something, like you said, that is transferred. And when we talk about relationships, I think that it's very important to share energy with one another in order to go to that next level together. And that is what a lot of relationships lack. They share a partial energy, and then a lot of the energy is negative between the two people. Yeah. This is a problem. Mm-hmm. We see it all the time. My earring coming off? Thank you. Bloopers. Why you didn't tell me, Dale? We blooping. Well, my back. So my back done fell off. We got to iron her. We'll get her. Unless she in my lap. Bloopers.
You still recording?
Yeah. Listen, it's funny because I had a show where somebody was telling me that I had some guests on the show that was sitting at the table. They was eating. She was like, "You had one guest on the show? She was eating, boy." No, it was a guy. She said, "You had one guest on the show. He was eating, boy. He ate his whole plate right there on the show."
I'm like, eat my whole plate.
Right, correct. That's what you do when you come to eat with a poet. Shout out to Simone Brown in the building one time, huh? Listen. So I think it's important. And see, if you don't have that, because a lot of times these are things that you have to understand that's important in order to take things to the next level. If you're in a relationship and you feel stuck, or you feel like that, the relationship's not going anywhere, and this, that, and the other. Oh, but you love the person though, and it's a good person though. And you guys, you get along for the most part, but you feel like, it's not really going anywhere. To me, when you feel like that, it's not the relationship, it's you. I feel like a lot of times when we're in something with someone, a relationship or whatever it is, where we can easily find the flaw in the other person or find the flaw in that, we ought to, it is our responsibility to reflect. Self-reflect and find what is it that I could have done different or better, or how can I be better? What, we got to get in there. You know what I'm saying? We got to get in there. How do I protect my energy, Elena? How do I save all the good around me? How am I able to continue to function in life and with so much going on and still be happy? And still have joy.
And that's why I say both. Like, that's why I don't just say, always look within yourself, because, once you look within yourself, there may be a problem with that person that you're, dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But it's always important, like you're saying, to look at yourself first, and make sure we're continuously growing and we understand the way we feel. And that's one thing that I'm learning to really be able to understand how I feel, and then be able to communicate that. I feel like we're in a generation that lacks proper communication.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Absolutely.
draining, you know what I'm saying, within. You know, that'll drain your energy alone if you can't tell your boss that you have too much work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't just have that simple conversation, then that's going to drain you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff, it starts within. And I think you're totally right.
Yeah, and then too, you know, when you made a point, you said a lot of times there might be something wrong with the person. Well, there's something wrong with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so we can say yes to that off top. But what I'll say is, in general, the only way for us to function and accept the journey which is in front of us is to understand that regardless, we can't fix people, but we can fix us. We can work on ourselves. We can continue to better ourselves. I tell people all the time, I hear women say all the time, you know, I stayed with him because I feel like, you know, I can help him like he need me. Like I feel like that, you know, if I don't help him, he gonna do this or he gonna do that or this, that, and the other. One thing I learned about life is we can't fix people because we don't have the manual for how people were created. Only God is the creator of us. Only God has the true design of how we function from the inside out. Now, what he has done is giving doctors the ability to study our anatomy and help us in that realm. But on the soul, only he can mend those things that are deeper. So I think it's very important, you know, for us to realize that the journey in life is personal. That, you know, no matter who you're born, what family you're born into, or friends that you'll pick up along the way in life, the journey is personal. And we have to find our purpose. Yeah. You know, and that ain't all over the place. That's still sticking with energy.
And that's crazy that you say that because they're like when people like ask me about like how to protect their energy, that's those are actually two of the things that, you know, I do like say. And it's one, know that, you know what I'm saying, like you can't fix people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you treat people accordingly.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then also find something to do. You know what I'm saying? Find something higher than yourself to do. You know what I'm saying? So that you can get that, you know, get that feeling, you know what I'm saying, that you're making a difference. You know what I'm saying? That there is a higher purpose to this life.
So what do I do, Reese, right? What do I do, Elena? How do I find something to do? What is there for me to do? I mean,
you start with the things that you like. You start with the things that you like, and you know what I'm saying? And from there, it starts to unfold. You know, you'll be surprised what you get into. Or you could just start with your neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, like places that you can go volunteer places. Like they're always looking for, you know, people to feed the homeless or, you know what I'm saying, like to help out with, you know, just
and you know
kids.
What? And I tell you what, and see, one thing I learned about that, that's a journey too, like helping out with the homeless and like really serving God's people. And that requires ones being higher within themselves too, especially if you're not natural. Like a lot of people I know that will help the homeless is because genuinely they was able to turn their life around and they want to give back, or you know, maybe they're church people and that's just a service that the church will provide and people are willing to go do. But one thing I learned about this journey is wanting to help the homeless and wanting to help people or God's people is something that it has to be a desire that's different, that comes to you in a way where you genuinely care. You can't just go out there and do it, you know, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, and
but if somebody's looking for it, you know what I'm saying, they have to care.
But see, what I was going to say to your point is, because you're right, but what I was going to say, just to give a little incentive to your point, is that we still got to take time to meditate.
Oh, for
Silence
sure.
is genuine.
For sure.
We got to take time to meditate and listen for the voice of God.
Yeah.
He speaks.
Listen, I'm reading this book. It's called Think and Grow Rich. Something like that. Think and Grow Rich. Something like that. So this man, he pretty much took, and it's a popular book among, you know, millionaires or whatever. Because this man, he literally took Napoleon something.
Okay.
I don't know. But I was on Clubhouse and
okay.
And they recommended this book, and it was about a guy who literally took like 25 years out of his life to study like Henry Ford and the billionaires over the years to see if there was a common factor to them becoming rich. And one of the common factors was energy and having a higher source and being in touch with oneself. So he even, he talked about, even some of the greatest artists of our time and, of all time, there were additional components to what made them great. Because if you're trying to solve a problem and, create something that's never been created before, you're not going to be able to do it within your conscious mind.
Absolutely.
Because some things are not created yet. You know what I'm saying? Like the light bulb.
That's right.
The things he created it with was not there yet. You know what I'm saying? So he had to have a higher consciousness.
That's it.
So some people get that from, alcohol, weed, or just, meditating.
They say they call it tap in.
You got to tap in. You got to find your quiet place.
Right.
Sit there, meditate, and wait for it to come.
Yeah, you can't let your spirit be so riled up and so worked up all the time. That's when you're going to be frustrated, flustered, overwhelmed. You're going to have all these different feelings that create an energy that causes you to respond a different way. And then with that, it's a chain, it's a domino effect. You make mistakes. You start doing all this before you know it, this happened, that happened. It messes you up.
And not even that, some people are just existing.
They're
just working, coming home, doing their chores, going through the motions, and then before you know it, the week gone, and you be like, "What happened?"
And you caught up in the womb of your daily routine. Make up your face like you was Regine from living single, but you ain't living single.
Right? It's very true, and and even and I especially am dear to women, because women, we are the nurturers, and we, we really take on a lot because that is, that's our inner self.
Right.
Like that's like our basics.
It's a switch he put in us.
Yeah. So we can't help it. So we wind up in this routine of taking care of the kids, taking care of your man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or in some cases, some people be taking care of other people's man. And it'd be like, you gotta really look into yourself, know what you want. Take a moment. You know what I'm saying? Take a moment, because you're going to keep going, and then before you know it, you're going to be out of gas.
And I'm going to tell y'all something, too. Another thing that's very important, and this was something that my mother and I were talking about. Mama is like the spiritual guidance counselor of life and stuff.
Right?
But shout out to Valerie Williams, author Valerie Williams. I was talking to her and she kept saying choices. Right now we're living in a time where choices are so important. Protecting your energy is a choice. You can choose peace. You can choose these different things. We have to be very, very careful with our choice making, especially now. And I speak with urgency to the time now, to everything that's going on right now, and everything being, just watch the news, just take a look
things
outside.
Are unfolding. It's like
it's going on.
Get a break.
I mean, things are just happening. People don't know what to do. Should I do this? Should I take the vaccine? Should I not take the vaccine? Should I go to church? Should I not go to church? Should I party? Should I not party? And then you have people that just don't care. It's energy, y'all, in the air like crazy, y'all. And the biggest thing that I'm trying to push and to put out there into the atmosphere is to protect everything around you that is good, and build it, so that it's so much so that it blocks because the negative ain't gonna stop, y'all. Bad things is gonna happen. We're gonna be losing a lot more people now than we've lost. This time is record breaking for the things that are going on. I hear people say constantly, "Oh well, back in the days it was like this, and we just couldn't see it, and this, that, and the other." The Bible speaks to times such as right now. You understand what I'm saying? Let's just be real. It speaks to the time as now. Says that people will know what's right, but they will still do what's wrong, as if they didn't know. Same thing that's happening with COVID. people see that it's spreading and all these different things.
Still want women.
No. And so we have to protect our energy, y'all. We got to protect everything around us that is good and build it. Right? Yeah. Real quick, y'all, we're going to get into a live performance from Reese Wright. I want y'all to hear this song, y'all, and let this energy get into the atmosphere. We're going to be right back. E with the Poet. Hey guys, it's your girl Elena the Poet, and by now you've heard of my show Eat with the Poet. It is deep conversations with South Florida's known unknown gem. You guys need to go to YouTube, go to Elena Poet, subscribe, hit the like, and drop a comment. Watch a few shows. But listen, we on a journey. And we doing this together. Subscribe.
Pay attention to Elena and her podcast.
My only, I just want some peace. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. But you gotta choose you and watch yourself to be what I need, and I just wanna be free from the pain, from the rain. It's all in the energy. My own. I just want to be free. Protect my energy. My own. I just want some peace.
Wasn't that just lovely? I still got microphone people. Listen, real quick, we want to give a special shout out to Reese Wright for coming in and giving us that amazing performance. You guys make sure you follow her. Make sure you check out her single on YouTube and stream it and all that stuff. And make sure you come right back here, E with the Poet. Protecting my energy by all means. Cool people, take us out of here.
Peace to all the queens. What's up out there? We live. Tapping in. I need everybody to tap in. Cool people. Eat with a Poet. Subscribe. Never leak it or show it. Gotta pull your own weight. If you reap it, you sow it. Come eat with a Poet. Gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food. Come and eat with a Poet. Kicking words with the poets, I get lyrical. Physical is great, my journey now is spiritual. Peace to the queens in the nation and foreign. I would like to introduce you to Elena the Poet. Stay down in the jungle like some bare feet. Now when we toast, ace of spade, no more bare feet. Poking beans, Dane County, yeah, I'm still hood. Spread love, feed the homeless cause it feel good. Now pay attention, this is knowledge of wealth. Throw the school books away, this is knowledge of self. Quiet is kept, listen, this the Revolution broadcast. Now pay attention to Elena and her podcast. Never leak it and show it. Gotta pull your own weight if you reap it, you sow it. Yeah, gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food, come and eat with a Poet. Come eat with a Poet. Shout out to Elena the Poet. Cool people. See, I need everybody to tap in, subscribe.
Spread love.
You know what I'm talking about? Black power.
Black power.
Black queens.
Black kings. All
Shout out
kings.
to all the kings.
All queens.
Forward movement.